internet friends, my name is Catherine and I'm the human behind creation Miss Couture. In today's episode of In the Dye Pan, we are doing a Leave No Dye Behind that I just adore the final result and I'm very excited to share with you. For anyone who's wondering, this sweater is the Ever After sweater from Claire Jackson from Perfectly Knotted that we've interviewed earlier this month. So I will have the pattern link in the description box below if you're interested to do this beautiful sweater pattern. And without this, let's get into the pen. So sometimes I do leave no dye, like I said, with leftover dyes that I have on my gloved hands that I rinsed off in a little container, and sometimes it's like what I just showed you. This is sometimes when I'm cleaning up my pots and pans and my little containers, there is residue and there's kind of enough. Hey Zoe. There's kind of enough to create a stock solution. So this is also a reason why I have underneath my sink all those containers that I keep, and we're trying something today. We're going to have some fun with the Leave No Dye. Just so you know, I have absolutely no idea what some of those colors are. This looks like royal purple, maybe, from Dharma Trading Co. I'm very unsure of what it is, but with the color it's either royal purple or not Cabernet, maybe it's Cabernet. I'm very unsure, because something that happens also when you're doing Leave No Dyes is that how can I say this? So the dye will split basically in the container. So sometimes what's gonna happen is that you will have a residue at the bottom of your pot, of your pan and stuff like that, and that's because it will have split. And here you see I'm just putting my skeins on top of the water. I haven't put them for pre-soak or anything. I'm just having fun. It was a very last minute Leave No Dye, so I didn't prepare anything. So today it's just imagination. Sorry, I'm being weird today. I have too much coffee. Oh, look at me. I did a speed up. So sometimes what I do is also when I'm editing, I'll have the skeleton all prepared and I forget what I do when I do that. But good thinking, Catherine, from the past, to do a little speed up to see what's going on. Because we can see here, it's super interesting how far the dye will go into the skeins. Because if you look at the one on the extreme right, you can see the dye get soaking into it. Oh, I should probably also tell you, when I do this technique with skeins that are not pre-soaked or anything, I usually double the amount of water I would put normally. So normally I put about 9 cups of tap water in the pan when I'm doing a lower immersion. But in this situation, since they are bare, I do 18 to 20 cups of tap water that I'm adding into the pan, so that way the water will soak and I don't have to fear that I'm going to run out of liquid like I did for my snow dyeing fail. If you remember that, it was very interesting. So you can see that it's the water has gone through pretty much the entire skeins, which is good, but since we have purple in the pan, it takes a little longer for the dye to absorb within the skein. And just for the funsies, I'm adding this leftover, and I'm just curious to see if we're going to see any of that pink when with the final result. I doubt it, because it's very faint. I'm fairly sure this is also a leftover from, I would say, fluorescent fuchsia from Dharma. I'm pretty sure that was a leftover from when I did some speckling, maybe. Or no, it was not that. I'm pretty sure it's fluorescent fuchsia, but I'm pretty sure it's when I was cleaning up my pots and pans, and I had only like a little leftover of pink in the container. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Yeah, and we're going to speed up a little bit here again because, like I said, purple takes a long time to absorb. Some purple, some of them are actually super fast and strike the yarn almost immediately, and you have to be careful to make sure that you cover everything you want to cover. And here you see it's almost done, and I'm starting to be impatient, so we're just going to be adding the tie wraps. So those are reusable ones. If you're going to go with reusable tie wraps, I always recommend that you go with the 10 inches one because you will have more loose where you're going to have your tie wrap, where with the shorter ones, it's going to create a lot of resist around your tie wrap. So that's why I would recommend the 10-inch ones. And reusable because we don't want to have to buy tie wraps every single time we want to dye yarn. If you don't want to use tie wrap because they do have a tendency to snag the yarn sometimes, I would recommend you to either use shower curtains, or there's also like this silicone thingy to when you're trying to manage your cables. Maybe it was not purple at all. Maybe it was like a gray, because that doesn't look purple. Because in some gray there is colors that look like purple. What color was that? Anyways, so yeah, so there's silicone bands that you can purchase pretty much anywhere. I'm pretty sure there are some at the dollar store and place like that you can purchase. What color was that? And you can see there's still some faint hints of the pink I added, but it's going to disappear completely. That's for sure. And now we're adding just a tiny bit left over. This is fluorescent lemon, I think it's the name of the color. Is it fluorescent lemon? It might be golden poppy. I don't know. Okay, so you can see the sediment at the bottom of that one jar that I was talking about earlier. So when I say that the dye will split, that's also one of the reasons. So that's Cabernet. Yeah, I think. Anyways, yes. So sorry. So one of the reasons, and you can see it very clearly here, because here at the bottom, when I first started to pour, it was very red, winey, and then the more I was applying the color, the browner it is. So most of pre-made colors have different pigment in it, and those pigment they can split when you are applying them, which, like, that's life, it happens. You just need to learn which color will split more easily than others. So that's why the timing of you adding your acid is important, because sometimes if you add your acid too early, your color will split. And so in this case, it splitted because I had done this stock solution a few days prior. So usually when I'm dyeing, I use fresh dye stock. And what I mean by fresh is that it was either done the same morning or like half an hour earlier. Compared to, I know that other dyers will prepare a bunch of stock solution and they will work with that, which is perfectly okay. Everyone has to do what works best for them. Personally, I do not have the space to store a lot of the stock solution, so that's why I try to work from fresh. And if you're working with stock solution, it's a good idea to give it a good shake before applying it to the yarn because like you've seen earlier, you can see some split happening within the same container. So that's why I personally work with fresh, that and the space thing like I mentioned earlier. And my goal with this pan is to honestly use up all the leftover dyes I have simply because I need more space underneath my sink for other things. So that's why I'm moving my yarn a lot to make sure that I can cover up all the little white space. And like I said, it's going to be like very one of a kind. There's 4 skeins of it and it's just like so pretty. The final result is amazing. I really like it and I honestly I'm considering keeping it for myself. Sometimes you just fell in love with one of a kinds, which is very unfortunate because you can't really reproduce them. Okay, so that is actually royal purple. Royal purple has a tendency to strike quite fast. So if you're going to be using it, make sure that you're doing it with intentions. Because if you don't, well, you might end up with not like with white spots and resistant spots as well. But it's such a pretty color. I really love it. But I don't know if you've noticed, but I really like pinks and purples apparently because I do that quite often. I use them a lot. That's why when I'm building collections, I'm trying to do a rainbow rather than using the same colors over and over again. And here I'm noticing that I still have quite some white left and I don't have any more leftover stock. I don't have any leftover dyes or from anything. So that's what I'm going to do is that I'm going to be adding some speckles. So this is Hyacinth from Dharma Trading Co. I really like that color and I know that this color has a tendency to spread a lot, which is why I want to use it here because a little will go a long way. It will add some depth into the colors and but it will still have some really nice speckle effect onto the yarn that I'm super excited about. I really love that color. I think I'm going, next time I'm reordering Hyacinth, I think I'm going to get like the 8-ounce jar because I really like it. So 2 ounces jars goes a long way. I still have some of my 2-ounce jars that I first bought in 2021. So you don't need that much to cover a whole lot of skeins, especially if you don't do 1% stock solution. So 1% stock solution are 1 gram per 100 milliliter. Ooh, that was hard. 1 gram of dye for 100 milliliter of water. And that creates a 1% stock solution. And your stock solution are always in relation to the amount of skeins of grams of yarns you have in your dye pan. So if you have 4 skeins of 100 grams in your pan, you have 400 grams, which means that you would need 400 milliliter of stock solution if you want a 1% stock solution on your skeins. But you can always play with all that. I'm just giving you some information for your personal use. And you can already see like how much spread there was for the Hyacinth, like I mentioned. It does spread a lot, and this is the intention I had, which I'm very happy it's doing. Thank you for behaving the way you do. All right, so I've let it cook for about half an hour and you can see how much the Hyacinth has spread, which is perfect. This is what I wanted to do. I'm very happy with the result. And one of the things that you need to know is that the more you work with dyes, the more you will understand and know how it will behave in the pan, and the more you can use that to your advantage and create the color that you want to create. So we'll let this cool down and we'll be washing it. So I don't expect a whole lot of bleeding in those ones, simply because there's not that much. Well, there's quite a bit of dyes, but the thing is, I don't know how much pigment there was in the stock solution that were created, so I don't think we'll have a whole lot of bleeding in this situation, but we might. We never know. Especially with purples and pinks, sometimes there is some bleeding, but I don't think we'll have, because there was not that much. Oh yes, no bleeding. We love that. Hee hee hee. And I always use unscented product to wash yarns that will go out in the world, because I don't want to give anyone an allergic reaction. So I always use unscented soap wash. I either use eucalyptus or soak. And here's our final result. It's so pretty. I love it. So you can see all the beautiful colors. So you can see the subtleties of the different shades of pinks and purples, and it's really lovely. I'm a sucker for those colors, so I'm very biased when I say this, but I'm very happy with how it turned out. I think it's going to be a lovely color once it's knit or crochet up. I think it could be a very nice sweater color, because it's not too busy, and depending on like the stitch definition you're looking for, it can be very nice. So I'm super happy with how it turned out. If you've liked the video, please consider liking, sharing, and if you want to follow along with the journey, I can always appreciate if you want to subscribe to the video. And once again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.